Okay X. I was obsessed with Goatman Skinwalker mimicry stories for a while, but I haven't looked in a while. And then this happened to me last night, and now I literally cannot sleep or stop being scared due to its proximity to my house. I'll try to green text as much as I can, but first background. I am 21 and a college senior from CT. While I live in a semi-rural area, about 20 minutes to closest supermarket/fast food, I go to school in Washington, D.C. Not the nice part, either. The part where crackheads are a real thing and cops are reassuring rather than troublesome. I've definitely seen some stuff in my day. It would be good to mention here that I'm not some glandular freak, but am about 6 feet 1 inch and 240, a lot of muscle, but Lord knows I could drop 15 pounds, I love to smoke pot, get drunk and eat, sue me. Being the good student that I am, I picked a real major, accounting, and I interned for a mid-sized PR firm doing accounting work and getting paid $20 an hour. College is expensive as anything though, so I deliver pizzas at night after the office closes. It's a cheap, drunk food kind of pizza place that has an absurdly large delivery radius and is around 20 minutes from my house, 5 minutes from the beach. My place is north of there and we deliver probably another 15 minutes past my house. I'm actually typing this at work in between examining the fine print on our client contracts to ensure we are charging them every penny we can, cheap bastards. So basically, the further north you go from the pizza place, the more rural it gets. I work until close and this occurs around 9:45 p.m. Be me, in the back, folding pizza boxes like a good little corporate worker. Counter girl comes back with a delivery slip. She tells me the customer sounded weird on the phone, kind of like he was talking through a fan or through his hands, and that he was almost like gurgling. My DC experience instantly makes me think crackhead, although around here it's way more likely to be some benzo freak or painkiller addict. Automatically assuming some weird interaction will occur. Look at address, see it is in kind of bumblefuck. I'm a little mad cause I don't want to drive that far, but forget it. It's the weirdest ticket eBay ever seen. Guy ordered a large pizza with anchovies, ground beef, ham, sausage, pepperoni, etc. Literally $15 worth of extras. I go ask the counter girl if it's right. She says she thinks so. She couldn't really make it out though, so she said she did her best. She's like 16, so I cut her some slack, assumed she was daydreaming and call the number back. Phone rings 5, 10, 20, 30 times. No answer. Hang up, call again. Phone goes right to, the number you have dialed does not have a voicemail box that has been set up yet. Goodbye. Okay then. JPG. Manager decides to just make the pizza as ordered and proceed from there. Deliver a pizza, to a hilariously obese and blackout drunk couple invited me in for drinks, but I don't drink or smoke when I work. Hope someone else took weird pizza. Surprise, no one did. It's my turn. Begrudgingly take the pizza and get in my car. Enter address into phone. It's on a side street adjacent to a park locals call open space, which despite the name is about 500 acres of straight woods. It's about 25 minutes away, basically the edge of our range. Put on some dubstep, judge me, and crank my turbo subby, judge me more, out to this road. If you're not from a rural area, this can be hard to explain. Winter in the woods is scary. There is never a single sound. Ever. Unless there's something larger than a cat walking around, it's you and dead silence. Finally get to address. There are a few houses on the street, but they sit on probably 5 acres, so they are spaced out a fair amount. Looking for number 1134. I pass a 1130, then a long stretch of nothing, then a 1144. WTF.jpg. I just want to get this over with and get the next delivery without getting stabbed by some pillhead over a pizza. Call the number. Rings, ring, stops ringing. There's no sound, but instead kind of like a buzzing or a humming. It's hooked up to my car stereo and it's getting louder and louder until I just hang up because I don't want it to ruin my speakers. Windows are fogging up cause at this point I'm pulled over between those two houses. Right when I roll the windows down I am overcome by the odor of decaying trash, like driving through Newark, New Jersey. Gross, so I put the car in first and I start pulling towards the next house. At the end of the driveway there's a stanchion with a light on top. Gonna pull into this house and knock and ask if maybe they gave the wrong number over the phone. Makes sense for a pillhead. I'm probably 100 feet away when I see someone step out of the darkness into the light at the bottom of the driveway. Good, it's the person that ordered. Expecting this guy to be all over the place, leaning over and being messed up. Guy isn't that messed up. Stopped the car about 10 feet from him. Black coat that looks 3x too big for him even though he's probably got 5 inches on me. Don't look at him at first. Getting pizza out of car and getting ticket and change as I talk. Hey sir, sorry about the wait and the calls, this is pretty far. No response. Realize I should be watching him considering the signs. The smell is still pretty pungent but I know it's not trash day. I get the pizza on the roof of my car. He is standing under the light on the opposite side of my car. So I got out of my driver's seat and went to driver rear to get pizza. Put pizza on roof of driver rear, guy is probably 10 feet away from passenger rear. I finally pay enough attention to get a good look at him. Giant tall, no shoes, ripped up jeans, stains everywhere. Big jacket as mentioned. Look at his face. Sunken eyes. Can't even see them with the light. Getting real sketched out cause guy hasn't moved or said a word. Stop the process and just stare at the guy. He is staring right at me with those freaky eyes. His head is sort of bobbing side to side, but not in any fluid sense at all. Kind of like a car door, like how it stops at halfway open, then you give it another shove and it stops at all the way open. I watch his head do this in no real pattern for probably 10 seconds. Starting to get really uneasy between the stench and the head thing and the eyes and the not answering. I stand frozen and so does he. Without breaking eye contact I take my phone out of my pocket and hold it level with the roof so I can look at the guy and my phone at the same time. Go to recent calls. Call the number for the guy. Call it. Phone starts ringing but I hear no phone anywhere. Then out of the quiet of the woods, I hear, faintly, so faintly, a cell phone ringing back in there maybe 50 or 100 yards away. This is my kicking myself for not getting my CC yet. This is me almost shitting myself. The guy's just standing there still doing the head thing but I swear I see that guy smile. Finally get the courage to speak. Can you please come get this? Also I think you may have dropped your phone when you were hiding a body or whatever in the woods. Nervously laugh, still thinking maybe this guy dug too deep into the prescription bottle or found some PCP or some stuff. I see his mouth open, head still bobbing, feet planted to ground. He makes sort of a low guttural, quick grunt. Then a high grunt, then a low grunt. They are sort of soft, kinda like someone clearing their throat. Eve shut the rear passenger door at this point and am ready to book it to the driver's seat if I got to. Just as I go to call that phone again I hear words. The phone's not mine. The pause between the and phone's not was way too long. Phone's not literally sounded like one word. Mine came off an octave higher. My mind is DEFCON 5 like just full panic attack. Knees are weak. I'm literally about to peace out. I push the pizza to the far side of the roof away from me. Finally muster out, sir, you're freaking me out. I have a .45 and less than $20 on me. Please come take this so I can leave. When I say this the head bobbing stops. His eyes are dark and burning a hole through my skull. Opens his mouth again. It was his. What? I say, stunned. It was his. Thefanua's his. The guy comes towards the car. Not a step but like one huge muscle spasm that propels him forward. Thefanua's his, he repeats. I'm on the verge of tears at this point. Standing next to open driver's side, pizza is on roof over passenger rear door. Guy jerk jumps once closer to the car. Thefon is not his anymore. I blubber wordless, and then gathering my courage I scream, "I'm gonna call the cops and blow your head off if you don't get out of here." I see this guy smile this creepy smile, and without moving his mouth I hear him say in a completely different voice, a voice I've never heard before, "Go away. Stop following me. I will call the police." In one big jerky motion the thing reaches forward, takes the pizza off the top of the car and places a couple round things that I later identify as quarters on the roof, surrounded by dark liquid that spreads over the roof. I don't even think, just get in the car and peel out down the road, leave the hot sleeve for the pizza, leave the stuff on the roof, don't even close the door all the way. I go down the road at about 80 for a quarter mile, then pull a U-turn cause I don't want to get even more lost with this creepy place. I whip down the road past the place where he was. Nothing. This thing's face is 12 inches from my own when I turn. Tactically wet myself. Peel down road. Finally make it back to pizza place. Shaking like bloody hell. Smoke a joint just to calm me down, which I never do when I'm working. I walk in the front door of pizza place. "Hey Anon, that guy at the open space house just called back. He said you forgot some food, but he only ordered the pizza, right? He said come back ick." I start crying. Look at my phone, which had been thrown through the car with my driving. 14 missed calls from that number. Literally in tears. All the voicemails are empty except the last one. All I can hear is ragged breathing and those low gruntings. Crying my eyes out in front of this hot counter girl, and I don't even give a care. Sit for 10 minutes and calm down. Remember the change on the roof. Go out to car and turn on flashlight. The roof of my car was covered in the most viscous weird liquid, but it smells like blood and I throw up immediately. In the panel gap between my trunk and the end of my rear window I find the quarters. Covered in the same maple syrup thick goo, and stuck to it are soft little chunks of what I can only imagine is tissue. Go to open my car and my blood turns to ice. There is a single line of blood going from the front quarter panel to the driver's side door. The thing tried to open my mother door when it was next to me at the stop sign. Tactically cry and soil my pants more. I go back in. Tell counter girl to try and call the number again. She tries over and over but the phone goes right to voicemail. Next morning I give the number to my uncle, who is a police captain a few towns over. Says the number is from a burner phone, paid in cash, basically untraceable, and it appeared to be off now. I sleep with the lights on now. He'll be lurking for comments or suggestions or something like, is this person gonna stalk me and hurt me or call me again? I'm terrified.
I can tell you something that happened to me years ago while I was living with my sister because of college. I wrote it once in here, but it must have been 10 years ago or so. I doubt anyone capped it. Also, full disclosure, I don't really browse anymore, but I'm bored at work lol. Also, details might get fussy. Be me, 10 years ago, 20 years old. Move 5 hours away from home for college. Live with sister. Have 2 dogs, a rescued mutt, and a hairless breed one. Hairless one sleeps with me. Mutt has a dog house in the garage. We don't have a yard. Just goes living room, barred door, garage, heavy metal door outside. Hairless dog wakes up whimpering and shaking. Don't remember checking the hour, but it must have been between 3 to 5 a.m. This is a common occurrence. My dog wakes me up to go to the bathroom. I almost do it on automatic now. I was to the garage to let my dog out. I see the door to the outside is open. My sister has done this several times. The mutt ends up running around outside, and people complain at me, so I'm annoyed. As I'm ready to go out to the garage, I hear something below the door, like rummaging or something. I adjust my sight, and I see a human figure. They're crouched going through my trash. I freak out and turn on the light. The figure stands up and looks at me. It's my mother. This makes no sense because she's supposed to be 5 hours away and doesn't go anywhere without sending messages to everyone in the family. But that's literally my mom, so I'm really confused. She just says she's sorry she scared me and that she wanted to see us. I don't remember if I said anything in particular. I just remember my dog losing its mind on my arms. Just thrashing. Which just added to my dread because my dog loves my mom, but it felt like she wanted to escape from the room. At this point I notice my sister coming down and asking what is going on. She sees our mom, and it's also weirded out. At this point, she starts walking towards the door I assume to open it and let her in. Then she stops and starts freaking out. That's when I noticed what really bothered me about my mom. It was her body. Her body wasn't the body of my 50-years-old chubby mom. It looked like an emaciated young girl. My sister is freaking out. My dog jumps and runs away. I hear other dogs losing their minds in the neighborhood. Lights go on in other houses. I turn around and my mom is gone. I stay for a bit there while trying to calm down my sister. After it feels safe enough to go close the outside door, I go. As I'm closing the door, I look across the street. I live in front of just wild bush. I see my mom's face just poking out the bushes. I close the door. After that, I waited for the morning to call my mom. I didn't want to call her at 4 a.m. and scare her. Everything was normal with her. My sister spent a couple days with her boyfriend. Both me and my dog got traumatized about going out during the middle of the night, lol. Ended up moving out that house after I finished college. Nothing weird happened since. Kind of an anticlimactic ending, but that's how it is. We never really talked about it too much, me and my sister. I think we came to the agreement that it was a random homeless woman that maybe looked like our mom. But I know what I saw. And I don't remember too much of what she said, but I do remember her voice. It was my mom's.
Be me, 8. Living in a small house in South Carolina. Room has carpets and window to the front yard. Wake up at night and open the blinds. See a menacing small elf thing, sitting in the front yard. Really thin and tiny and pointed nose. Nope.avi.jpg. Think, who is that? I hear him laugh. But not with my ears, in my head. Like in my thoughts. Elf thing says, I know who you are. Nope.jpg.avi. Starts telling me something that made me laugh, can't remember what they were. It asks to come inside. I tell it I don't think it's a good idea, parents won't like it. He agrees that it's not a good idea, tells me to go back to bed like a good boy. Wake up the next morning and tell parents. They get angry and think it's some pervert trying to harm me.
I've had exactly one sleep paralysis experience, and I hated it. Go to sleep wearing an eye mask because I have weird sleeping patterns and want darkness for my eyes to sleep better. Wake up. Everything feels fuzzy and distant. Realize I can't move. Realize exactly what's happening. Know what to do, just relax. Suddenly start hearing a voice. Like everything, it seems slightly distant. It's my mom. I try to call out, but can't. I can't remember exactly what was said, but the voice that sounded like my mom was saying something along the lines of, "Oh, it's fine. He's just asleep." Except I could tell the voice knew things weren't okay. It was lying or mocking. Eventually come out of the paralysis. Be extremely thankful that my eye mask had stayed on and I didn't see whatever was talking in my mom's voice.
There's a disappearing house in Thompson, Iowa. Saw it back in 2006. In town for a few months, working. Long hours. Up before dawn, normally don't get back to my motel till near sundown. Spend my days off sleeping or watching TV. Point is, I didn't really get a chance to see much of the area at all. So on a day off I decide to take a drive. Cornfields everywhere. I pass one house that really stands out. Big and white, kinda Victorian looking with a big wraparound porch. Looks brand new. Confused. I pass this area every day on my way to work and never seen it before. Figure it's because I'm usually still waking up when I'm heading to work. There's an old lady outside at the mailbox. I wave to her. She just stares me down the whole time. Whatever. Anyway, FFW, I'm heading back to the motel after driving around for a few hours. Expecting to see the big white house again. I don't. Whole area is a cornfield. Never saw the house again. I remember this was off the 84, right at the border of Iowa and Illinois. Anybody from there ever heard of this? I'm not from there and haven't been back since. A part of my family are from the countryside, Campo, en Español. They all live in a small town near the mountains and a sort of plains combined with forest. My cousins were enjoying the countryside near their town. In the place where they hang out, there is, or was, a shitty old, colonial, house. Time goes by, and most of they are drunk and everyone is inside the house. The thing is that someone wants to take a shit or pee, they have to left the house because the bathroom it's outside. One of the girls goes to the bathroom. When she was outside, everyone hears a scream and run outside. My cousin, the one what was in the bathroom, is freaked because something opened the door while she's using the bathroom. Describes that thing as an old midget man with a spooky smile, white beard. Everyone is freaked out because that's what we call a duende. They get inside the house. When everyone is inside, they start to hear steps outside. Suddenly no more steps and that thing is running towards the house now. They started hearing more of those things running outside the house. Absolute fear, and now they are praying. No one sleeps that night and never returns to that house.
Osfag. Lived in the bush for most of my life, till just recently. 2 years ago. A few friends and I are chilling at a trail that goes into a very steep gully. It's nighttime. Sitting in my car listening to music quietly and talking. Windows down, breathing in that warm summer air. Keep hearing small rustling in the scrub just a few meters away. Friend in the passenger seat asks if we can hear the rustling. Say, yeah, it's probably just a wombat or fox or something. Unless it's a yowie. We all chuckle, and my friend goes on to say, well, if it's a yowie, it better not mess with us cause I'll kill it and its family. Clearly joking, we all laugh at him being a jerk. We keep talking for a while, but I notice there's now no birds chirping, crickets, or any noise for that fact. Feel something watching me from the bushes. Primitive survival mode engaged.exe. Fight or flight kicks in as I hear something big moving towards us. Flight it is. Start my car and slam it in gear. About to get the heck out of there when something big smacks the back of my car. I'm speed all the way to the nearest car park that was well lit. We are all freaking out. Get out and inspect the damage. Huge scratch down the back of my car. I tell my friends about how the aborigines I used to be friends with say you have to respect the yowie. If it even was one. Now fast forward a week. We decide to go back there and apologize, just to be respectful. We go to a clearing, sit down, and begin talking to whatever is out there. Saying how we were sorry for disrespecting them, their land, and making threats. Leave fruit for them as a peace offering. Tell them we'll be back in a few days. Fast forward a few days. We go back at just before sunset. We go even deeper into the gully this time. The sun is starting to set now, and we are about halfway down the track, talking quietly between each other. All of a sudden, this god-awful screech resonates from the bottom of the gully. It sounds like nothing I have ever heard, and I have heard all the native animals' cries. Some are really messed up. I know all that is down there is a big creek and hard to traverse scrub/cliffs. It sounds like those Bigfoot screams from YouTube, only whatever it is sounds small and or yum. We stop in a clearing. My friends ask me what the hell that was. All I can do is shrug as I feel my adrenaline cranking, trying to play it cool. My friend gets the great idea to do some wood knocks to see if it will respond. 3 great knocks echo through the gully. Another scream, but this one is deeper and much closer. He knocks again. There's silence for about 5 minutes. Then to the left of us, about 3 meters away in the scrub, I hear something grunt. It sounds like a gorilla. Now to the right of us, there's something moving in the scrub. Whatever they are, they have us surrounded. My survival instincts are screaming at me by this stage, but I know I can't show any weakness. It's really dark by this point. Without saying anything, we all start walking back for sets of eyes staring straight at us. Reflecting like cat's eyes. These things are big and staring straight at us. Reverse and speed out of there while my friends are swearing and yelling. To this day, they refuse to go back there. After that incident, none of my family believe me except my sister and my girlfriend. My girl is pretty much a hippie/druid, loves animals, nature, and all that. Bring up the idea of taking her to the trail to show her that yowies exist. She's hesitant at first, but agrees when I say we'll go during the day. So we end up at the trail, but decide to walk into the scrub rather than down into the gully. Didn't want to stumble upon a baby and upset them. We are walking and talking, generally enjoying ourselves. That feeling of being watched returns, but it doesn't feel threatening. My girlfriend asks if I can feel something watching us. Yup. Keep walking and talking, but now I can hear something following us quietly in the bushes. We finally decide to head back. As we turn around, there's a loud knock from just a few meters away. We freeze in place, not knowing what to do. Then we hear 3 loud knocks from deep within the gully. Well, time to leave. About to walk away when I decide to give them one last gift. Pull out some fruit from my backpack and put it down on the track. Scan the bushes for movement. Can't see anything. We start heading back. Decide to have one last look. Turn around to see if I can see anything. Nothing. Wait, where's the fruit? Nudge my girlfriend, and she turns around and gasps. We make it back to the car. Just as we are about to leave, deep scream comes from down within the gully.
Order some Domino's BC, I'm a fat guy. A lovely cheese pizza, just for me. Breadsticks 2 BC, why not? Pay online and request the delivery guy leave it at the doorstep, social anxiety. Guy actually texts after dropping off my single loser meal. Text says, I left your pizza next to the garden gnome. What? I don't have a garden gnome on my porch. Open front door and find pizza box open, 1 slice missing. Tiny little footprints leaving the porch and down the apartment stairs. That disappear into some bushes. I've been gnomed. Week passes. I order Domino's again. This time I wait outside. Social anxiety be damned, this is my pizza, and I've gotta protect it from the gnomes. Sit at my little porch table scrolling through my phone. Start to feel watched. Never experienced anything like it before. Closest thing I can liken it to is when you're leaving a room and you turn off the lights but you feel something at your back. Sensation doesn't go away. Hear rustling in the bushes downstairs. Probably just a cat. Gets pretty violent though. Bushes look like someone is literally shaking them. Hoping a neighbor comes out and sees this. No dice. Finally pizza arrives and bushes stop shaking. Pay the delivery guy and rush inside. Try to shake off the spooks. Put on a few episodes of Quantum Leap and devour my entire pizza. Go to bed. In the morning, find my porch trashed. My little table is knocked over, chair is wrecked. Door looks like it's been scratched all to hell. Heh, probably just those darn cats I heard in the bushes last night. But inside I know. Gnomed yet again. Another week passes. Things have gotten kinda bad. First, I started hearing knocks at my door. I checked to find nobody there. This turned into taps on my bedroom wall as I slept. That turned into a constant tapping in the walls of any room I would be in. As the week progresses, the tapping and knocks get more annoying. They get louder too. My neighbor even pulls me aside to tell me that I'm making a lot of noise at night and his kids can't sleep. It's definitely not me, but I tell him I'll keep it down. By the time I'm calling up Domino's for my Friday night pizza binge, the tapping is actually unbearable. I'm ordering a large cheese, as usual, with a scratching at my door like a dog trying to get in. There's a tapping in the wall behind me too as I place my order. When I'm done, I hang up the phone and make my way outside. Tapping stops as I open the door and take a seat on my ruined chair on the porch. Wait for the pizza guy to come. All quiet on the Western Front. Eerily quiet. First time I've heard quiet in a while. I make a decision right then and there. The delivery guy shows up. I take the pizza from him and immediately pull out a slice. Drop it carefully at my feet, and say, "All right. That one's yours." Pizza guy looks around trying to figure out who I'm talking to. I pay him and he hurries off nervously. I go inside with my portion of the cheese pizza and sit down on the couch. This is the first time in 2 days that the apartment has been quiet at all. I soak it in for a moment. Then put on some Quantum Leap and dig into some cheesy goodness. A few minutes into stuffing my face, I hear a soft tap at the door. God damn it. I get up and open the door knowing I won't find anyone. And I don't. What do you want? I left you a slice. Look down and notice something. There were a bunch of these little mushrooms all piled together at my doorstep. Figure it's a thank you gift from the gnomes. Scoop up the mushrooms and decide to eat them with my pizza because I have no regard for my health. Before I do, I snap a pic and send it to my friend to see if he knows what they are. In the meantime I'm snacking on them with some pizza. Eat about 3 or 4 before realizing they kind of taste bad and put them aside. After a bit, Quantum Leap starts to look really weird. In fact, the entire room looks strange. Text message from friend reveals that my gift was in fact a pile of psychedelic mushrooms. Planned on going to bed early since I have work tomorrow at 6 a.m. Instead I trip until about 5 in the morning and go into work. Nearly lose my job that day because I can't think. Once more, and yet again, I have been gnomed.
Be me. In the bathroom at 3 a.m. The way my mirror is set up, I can see most of myself while using the toilet. I don't really look at the mirror, but I obviously see it out of the corner of my eye. My bathroom is small, and right next to the toilet is the shower. Through the mirror, I see a strange, discolored and clawed hand slip out from behind the curtains. Look directly at the mirror and really see the hand. It slowly moves toward me and grasps it. I feel and see the hand holding me steady. When I finish, I finally look over to the shower, and of course nothing is there. Feeling of clawed hand on me vanishes instantly.
Heading for innawoods with a bunch of mates somewhere in Northern Europe. We decide to hike to this old abandoned Cold War-era military facility. Reach the facility after 2 days of hiking. Cash is low, we spend the day exploring and shooting birds with .22s. By nightfall we set up a camp in one of the empty warehouses. We go outside, set up a campfire and start making stew. All of a sudden we hear the loudest and weirdest roar I've ever heard. We all shut our fires, grab our rifles and stare into the darkness. Something is moving about 100 meters out, we hear it rushing through the woods into the facility area. We stand there, silent, listening. Then it stops and suddenly it is dead silent all around us, just the stew slowly boiling on the fire. We look at each other and have a brief chat. We decide to carry on with making the stew. Next morning we wake up and start packing. Everybody is making jokes about how we got so scared of some bear, etc. My buddy sees something lurking on top of the biggest facility building. We try to have a look at what it is, but it's too far away, some 200 meters maybe. It is just standing there, with 2 legs, probably staring at us. The thing is huge, maybe over 7 feet tall. I reach for binoculars to have a good look on who is trolling us with camouflage suit. Just as I find the binoculars my mates start shouting. I look at the creature, or whatever it was, and it seems to be running via the facility wall like a lizard, very very fast. By now it is clear it is not a human, nor any animal I know of. It disappears behind one big bunker structure. We decide to move out of there, we're scared even though it is day. As we are hiking back we don't take any breaks before nightfall. As the sun sets down, we make a camp and start preparing supper. Everyone's a little tense and we try to joke around. We decide to do guard duty during the night, my shift is 0103. Birds are singing like crazy, they do that during the night here, and I managed to see a lone rabbit hopping around our campsite. I would have popped that one, but I wanted to let my buddies rest. Suddenly the bird stops singing and the rabbit stops, raises its head like it's listening to something. The rabbit runs off like it's running for its life. I feel very uneasy and flick on my flashlight and shine it towards the darkness. I'm hoping to see a glimpse of a fox etc. that could have explained the strange behavior of the other animals, but the forest around us seems empty. Just as I'm putting the light out I see something move behind the bushes around 100 meters away. It was something big. I shine the light directly at the bushes and try to get a look through my 10-20 scope. I managed to see something moving there and I believe I saw a pair of yellowish eyes. Then it stands up. I don't know to this day what it was, but it was hairy looking, very dark and had a face. The face of lighter color and there were 2 yellow eyes. The thing was around 7 feet tall, somewhat human-shaped. Although I didn't get a very clear look with my poor flashlight I was 100% sure that that thing wasn't a human so I started panicking, raised my gun and fired. I emptied the whole 25 RD Butler Creek mag into about 3 seconds, I didn't even aim. My buddies woke up and started shouting and it was all chaos for half a minute. I tried to tell them what had happened as fast as I could. Having dropped my flashlight, I didn't know if the creature had been hit or if it was there anymore. One of my buddies picked up the light and directed it at the direction I was pointing my gun at. And there it was, just standing. Suddenly the thing just kind of falls down and starts slithering at us, making no noise at all. We start screaming, grab our packs and guns and start running out of there. We must have ran like 10 kilometers straight up before taking a break. All of us were shaking, we didn't share a word. We walked the rest of the way to the public campground in DEFCON 1, weapons ready and listening to every crack. I've never been as happy as I was when I saw some German tourists grilling sausages by their RV. They were all like WTF when we exited the woods with guns in low ready stance. We said nothing, walked to our car and drove away, breaking pretty much every speed limit on the way. We talked about the thing on the way home. None of us knew what it was, but everyone had seen it and everyone was convinced that it was not a human nor a normal animal of any sort. We decided to stay away from the woods for a while. Problem is that the wildlife around here is scared of people, even children. And there hasn't been one bear sighting in over 80 years. Last summer we decided to be tough guys and find out what the hell that thing was. This time we would go with 3 ATVs, in case we would have to bail out fast. We took 2 cameras, 3.308s and 112/76 with slugs. There were 4 of us, by the way, load of survival gear, and one of my buddies managed to get a Gen 2 NV camera. We also had 7 pipe bombs, black powder in 2-inch iron tubing with caps at the end plus Visco fuse, in case something got out of hand. Yeah, it was kind of lame fake operator tier stuff, but we thought we'd get all famous and brave if we actually killed it or got footage of it. Anyways, we entered the woods with our gear and headed for the facility. Again at the facility, everything looks normal and birds are singing again. No sign of anything abnormal. We decide to map the surrounding area and look for anything suspicious. Nothing was found. We make camp at the very same warehouse as we did the last time. Night falls and everything is still normal. We have guard shifts during the night but nothing happens. Next day we start exploring the woods area around the facility. We find a peculiar pile of dead trees, looked like someone had hauled them there. We take a closer look. The trees are arranged in a fashion similar to a huge bird nest. In the middle of the nest, there is one half-rotten moose carcass and a lot of different animal bones. We start quietly moving back to our campsite. We park our ATVs next to the warehouse we keep our camp in. We enter the camp warehouse and see our camping gear all torn up, the somewhat expensive cameras smashed against the floor, food taken in sleeping bags torn to pieces. We take everything we could in like a minute and start driving the hell out of there. It's evening by the time we get back to public campground. A police officer stops us by the gates and checks our gun permits. Then the officer proceeds by asking whether we wanted to volunteer for a search operation. Our ATVs would be much appreciated. Some hiker had apparently gone missing in the nearby forest, 20 kilometers from the facility site. We look at each other and shake our head. One of my buddies quickly says something about being late and we drive out of there. The dude who went missing was never found. We decided that we wouldn't go innawoodsing in that part of the country anymore.
Alright, I have a story for you, so sit a while and listen. This takes place 3 summers ago during a boar hunting trip, down in a very rural area of the Ozarks South. My main reasoning for sharing this here is that, ultimately, I don't believe in the paranormal. However, I believe I may have run across something that I couldn't explain, and I want some input. Fair warning, I'm no good at green text. However, I'm not going to assault you with a wall of text. In any case, enough pretense aside. Be back from college and wanted to get out into the woods. Be bored as heck on a Friday night, and decide to head out super early for boar hunting with a buddy of mine, JD. JD is an Eagle Scout, not prone to being spooked very easily, and I have been hunting in places ranging from deep south swamps to Alaska. We pack our stuff up and leave his place around 12:30 a.m. After stopping for energy drinks and beef jerky, every hunter's best friends, we end up getting out there at around 2:15 a.m. We'd hunted this area for boar many times in the daylight, seen tons of deer, squirrels, and even a baby fawn that fell asleep by the warmth of our car engine once. Basically, a nice place. We pull in off the gravel tract, 40 miles from town and 3 miles from a small gas station/deer check station. Decide not to mess about in the woods at night. We'd had a mountain lion walk in our tracks on a previous hunting trip. Roll down windows and try to take a short nap. Instantly we're hit with this nasty, cloying, sickly sweet odor. I just brush it off going, just some wet deer. Haha, should mean our scent won't travel far in heavy damp air. JD just looks at me and says, that smells like death, bro, like a cow that's been out in the sun too long. I launch into a diatribe about him being overly cautious and how he should deal with it. In any case, since we don't want either to be wandering about in woods home to mountain lions in the dead of night, or be accused of night hunting by some ranger, we decide to go check and see if the small gas station is open. Surprise, JD's old four-banger won't start. Fine, looks like it's a nap followed by hunting while we wait for some mechanic to come jumpstart his car. All the while, this smell just seems to be seeping in through the vents and the cracks in the windows. It gets to the point where I'm actively retching in the car. Enough's enough, and we decide that if something had gone and died, we'd prefer not to be stuck in a gigantic tin can right beside the corpse. We get out of the car, parked in the middle of this gravel parking area surrounded by tall grass on the north side and woods on all the others. A swamp was to our direct west, full of boar, deer, and critters. As I'm sitting there loading up the magazine to my rifle, JD just keeps scanning the treeline with his eyes. To the uninitiated, hunting in swamps is close quarters. We hunt boar with semi-automatic rifles in the south. You want a quick follow-up shot in case the 400-pound ball of muscle with 8-inch tusks decides to charge you from 25 to 30 yards out. Something's got his hackles all up, but I'm feeling fine, so I just dismiss it as nerves. Anyway, suited up, we make our way down to the small footpath, 1 to 2 feet wide, that winds its way down into the swamp. However, reaching the treeline, we just both stopped, standing at the edge of the woods for a few minutes before either of us spoke. It was almost like shining a flashlight down a mine shaft, where the darkness just seemed to swallow the light. I could feel my skin crawl, and something deep in the back of my mind told me just to walk right back to the center of the clearing and wait for daylight. Nope. So, we do what any caveman would have done in that situation. We grunted out a few excuses to preserve our pride, and went and sat down by his car. Like heck, I'm going to wander through woods with mountain lions, and who knows what else at 3:15 in the morning. The mood lightened, and the smell had started to fade a bit. So we just busied ourselves checking our rifles and talking about girls, politics, and history. We're a weird bunch. After a while, the smell started coming back, and we began to voice our concern that something that smelled like it had died was moving around. As the smell starts growing more and more oppressive, I start hearing branches and twigs break in the undergrowth. Whatever it is, it's moving. I don't like that one bit. At this point, I'm thinking it's a mountain lion that's all covered in gore from a recent kill that's about to go full territorial mode. That wouldn't have been out of the question, but it wasn't. As I strained to hear where it was, I noticed that the snapping didn't come from the pat 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 of a four-legged animal. It resembled the crunch, crunch, crunch crunch of a novice hunter picking his way through the undergrowth. My first thought was we either had a ranger with a sick sense of humor, a drug grower with a great sense of humor, or worse, a serial killer. Either way, weapons were shouldered, bolts closed on loaded chambers, and lights pointed toward where the sound was. Nothing. It's nothing. Just the smell. And a slower now, crunch, crunch. And it stops. The smell is everywhere now, and whoever it is sitting far enough back in the treeline not to be silhouetted by our lights. Smart one. No eye shine either, which ruled out just about any animal other than boar, which make enough noise to be easily noticeable. Once again, the caveman brain rears up deep within my psyche and tells me, fire. A fire, build a fire. So what do? JD and I build a fire. Throughout this whole affair, other than a few moments, we'd been mostly quiet. However, the fire gives us comfort, and whatever it is seems to back off into the forest, if only for a while. As the fire burns hot, we start joking again, having a decent time, convincing ourselves it was only a cougar. However, there's only so much timber in a gravel clearing, and after a while we'd have to venture out of the firelight to keep the fire going. That time came, and as the fire burned down to embers, the smell came back more oppressive than before. And with that smell came an almost oppressive feeling of fear. Not regular fear, but an intense guttural fear that made your muscles tense, your stomach turn, and your eyes go wide. Every fiber of our being told us to get more wood, to keep the fire high. Only with fire would we survive the night. So we cautiously walked to the closest treeline, barely able to see from the dying light of the fire. We'd been trying to save our flashlights. I was on guard duty, as we figured that my SETME .308 semi-automatic would be a better standoff weapon than JD's small carbine. I'm tactically scanning the area, adrenaline flowing from a profound feeling that something just isn't right. JD leans down into the undergrowth to pick up a stick, reaching into the treeline. He screams and falls backwards, while branches break right in front of him. He gets up, freaking out, dusting himself off, saying he saw something staring at him first. Sunken eyes, a thick brow ridge, ashy gray skin. Then it smiled at him. Not so much as smiled, but curled back its lips in a Cheshire grin. We are at NoCon 1, gentlemen. I'm going to ignore the next hour of this back and forth game of tending the fire, the smell growing more intense, him, as we call it now, drawing nearer, building the fire back up, and him retreating back to stay away from the firelight. However, it should be noted that this entire time he was circling us, probing our defenses, seeing if it could find a way to get close without being seen. By the time 5 a.m. rolled around, we'd exhausted almost all of the dry firewood that wasn't within the treeline, except for the tall grass on the northeast side of the road. We, of course, do what we have to do, and slowly pick our way over to the tall grass. By this point, I have a flashlight taped to my rifle, and switch it on as we leave the fire to get some dry grass. As JD is filling his hands with tinder, I check my right-hand side, and look down the road. I wish I hadn't. Just as I swing my flashlight over the road, I see him for the first time. It's grayish-black, with either sloughing skin or matted gray fur. I honestly couldn't tell. It crossed the 10-yard wide track what seemed like instantly. Hunched over, maybe 5.5 to 6 feet tall, moving like a gorilla does. It's over. Something in my head just starts screaming, it's over. It knows you've seen it. It's not just being territorial. It's circling like a predator. It is a predator. That feeling hadn't been one of fear, but of impending predation. Somehow, the lower parts of our subconscious had known what was going on long before we did. In any case, we ran back to the fire, popped the dry grass on top, and waited for the smell to recede. It didn't. It was close, very close, and this time it wasn't moving. So we panicked, got in the trunk of JD's car, and listened as it passed behind the front of his car back into the trees. In a burst of brilliance, I decide that we either make the 3-mile run through the dark countryside to the gas station and pray the lights are on, or we build a fire big enough that one of the farmers or someone driving the main road can see it. We end up deciding that sprinting 3 miles through dark countryside, guns on our backs, could at worst get us attacked by him or shot by a terrified farmer. So we do the next best thing. I pull a small tree out of the ground. I'm not talking about a bush. I'm talking a small 8 to 9 foot tree. It's amazing what adrenaline can do for you. So much adrenaline where your facial muscles are drawn tight and your eyes dilate to being nearly black, JD's description of my face. In any case, the fire burns bright, very bright, after a while, and he retreats further into the woods. This fire burned a long time. Eventually, maybe 30 minutes after throwing the tree on the fire, 3 lifted trucks come barreling down the road and fly into the gravel parking area. The first truck had an obscene amount of those off-road lights on the bull bar and roof, which lit up the whole glade like the sun. The smell almost goes away entirely, still there, but almost imperceptible. No one gets out of the first truck. A man wearing a National Guard t-shirt and camo pants hops out of the second truck with his hand on his hip, concealed pistol. He questions us for about 10 minutes, makes us disarm, clear our chambers, and set our rifles in JD's car. He tells us there's a burn ban. We shouldn't be out there messing around, etc. We explain our car died when we came out hunting and that this was a signal fire. He just looks at us strangely at the word hunting, walks back to truck number 1, comes back, tells us not to come back there unless we have all of our ducks in a row. Truck 3 drives over and a man hops out to jumpstart our car. I shake his hand and thank him profusely, and he gives me a worried but sympathetic look. He doesn't say much, but walks back to his truck and drives away. Truck 2 drives away shortly thereafter. Once we've got all of our stuff packed up, Truck 1's window rolls down, and a rather fat man in a polo calls me and JD over. There's no boar here, boys. If you're hunting for boar, you best be looking further on down the road. At least on the other end of county redacted. Bullshit, tons of boar in there. But I don't say that. I'm not going to mouth off to the hillbilly militia that just saved my life. So I thank him for his advice. JD and I get back in his car, debating whether he had gone away with all the commotion. Just as soon as Fatty McClightbar had pulled out, the smell returned yet again. Nope, we're out. Hop on the gravel road, drive to the highway, drive past a few farms, and make our way towards the western border of County Redacted. We notice we're being followed by a small white Honda. Guess who's sitting in the front seats? Fatty McClightbar and hillbilly militiamen. They follow us all the way out of that county, then turn around. So ends my experience. It's hard to get green text to express emotion, the exact description of the smell, or the primal fear we felt. I wrote an after-action report of sorts the morning after that hunt, but haven't been able to find it after I moved. Hence the green text. In any case, I've debated going back with more than 2 people to hunt him, but I'd like to know what exactly I was dealing with. This is, of course, not touching the fact that the hillbilly militia patrol seemed to know more than they were letting on.
I'd like to start off by saying that I don't have a clue why I'm posting this on, or, really, at all. Maybe I'm afraid of dying, or something. The events described in this story happened a month and a half ago, in Shenandoah, West Virginia, although I typed this up about 2 weeks ago. I just haven't really had the guts to post this until what happened yesterday. The story starts in late September, when my family went to go visit our relatives, who invited us up to celebrate one of them, Desiree, getting like $2,000 in some scratch-off lottery thing. They live in this really poor part of Shenandoah that people from Charlestown, Shepherdstown and Ranson, basically the least developed parts of WV, like to call Squalor Holler. It's way up on the mountain, and exactly like how everyone pictures it when they hear about it, nothing but ramshackle shacks, rusty rebuilt trailers, everything covered in decades-old Christmas decorations because they're all too busy being smelly rednecks to ever clean up. Real deliverance stuff, just no rivers or canoes. The relatives we were visiting are absolutely confirmed inbreeders, all cousins with each other. We don't refer to them as aunt, uncle, whatever, just relatives. Not terrible people or anything, just absolutely cartoonish, depressing hillbilly stereotypes. So anyway, we're up here in this awful trailer, it sucks. There's like 8 of them, plus me, my dad, my mom, and my sister. About 2 hours in, my mom takes my cell phone so that I can focus on the family time together, which is nonsense. All we did the whole time was eat TV dinners and be forced to watch NASCAR and stuff. After like 6 hours of this, about 10 minutes before we're supposed to leave, it starts raining. We know how treacherous the roads can get up on the mountain, so we decide to wait for the rain to die down. Flash forward 2 hours later, it's raining heavily, 10 o'clock, and there's a flood warning for the area. I have my phone back by this time, no reception, though, of course. I'm playing Tetris and Texas Hold'em and stuff, when suddenly I hear my dad start losing it in the next room. I walk over, and it turns out that they let slip that they'd buried their kid, Thomas, outside, and apparently were afraid the rain would wash up his body or some other nonsense. The kid was like 6, he was attacked by a dog, and they never told the cops. Just buried him like he was a family pet. My dad's flipping out, and rightfully so, because, you know, we live in the 21st century and all. So our relatives all say they'll sort it all out in the morning. My parents tell me and my sister to stay in the same room as them during the night, and we do. None of us really suspected that they'd killed Thomas or anything, since they're really peaceful. They didn't even own any guns aside from this one old-timey double-barrel shotgun they had on a mantle. Nevertheless, we were creeped out, and intended to tell the cops in the morning once we got to town. So, it was like 3 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. Power had gone out for the 5th time or so, and I'm not able to charge my dead phone. Worst part is, I could see Thomas's little grave right outside the window. Little cross on it and everything, and I assumed the kid couldn't have been buried deep at all since they were so worried about him just washing up out of the grave. So I was just fixated on it, kept being drawn to looking out the window. And then I saw the worst thing in my life. Something was creeping through the trees toward the house. I stared at it for a while, but couldn't get a good look at it since it was raining and the brush was so thick. For a few minutes I assumed it was two really pale horses, kind of ambling through the woods side by side. But then it walked into the moonlight, and I saw that it was all one thing, like a kind of human torso, but wider. It finally stepped into full view, and I saw it had something like 6 legs, kind of somewhere between a beetle's legs and a horse's legs. 2 arms, right where someone would normally have them, but they were about a half a foot longer than any normal man's arms. It had a bald head, but the face looked like some kind of bizarre masquerade ball kind of mask. This clenched up, furrowed forehead, and a nose that looked sort of like a crow's or a raven's beak. It didn't have eyes, either, just like the depressions where eyes would go. It looked like it had a human mouth, underneath its proboscis. What still strikes me to this day is that it seemed to have a long protrusion, too, like right on the abdomen where a normal person's would be. The thing moved sort of gracefully and made these soft thump-thumping noises when it moved. It must have been like 7-8 feet tall, but sounded like it weighed maybe only 150 pounds at most. It starts walking towards Thomas's grave, and then I finally snap out of whatever trance I was in, and just scream. My mom is the first to wake up, and I tell her to look out the window. She rushes over and doesn't really seem to understand what she's looking at. After a minute, though, the thing bends down and starts pawing at the grave with its hands. My dad and Jasper rush in, and Jasper just loses it. Screams like a little girl, runs back out of the room, yelling for his father, yelling, "It's outside, it came and it's outside." I look back and see the thing is digging furiously at the ground, kicking up huge mounds of dirt. I hear these sounds of feet running around the house. I think they were looking for the shotgun. The thing reaches into the hole and grabs up what I assume was Thomas's body by the leg in one hand. The thing kind of gallops back into the woods, snapping all these branches and stuff, and then that's when we all hear it. A kid crying. The sound of a child sobbing and crying, from the direction that the thing took off in. We left as soon as the rain let up, at like 5 a.m. I don't even think we told anyone at the house. Drove straight back to Ranson, only stopping for gas. No one said a word to each other. My family refuses to speak about what happened. I tried to bring it up once, just to make sure it was real. My dad told me to shut up, so I did. I typed this up about 3 weeks after it happened, but just saved it to a notepad file and left it alone. Never mentioned it to any of my friends or anything, just tried to erase it from my mind by getting absolutely drunk whenever my thoughts lingered on it. It mostly worked, up until yesterday. See, I work at this gas station in Ranson, from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. I work the register, keep the place clean, and take out the trash. Yesterday, when I was bringing the trash bags over to the back of the building for the dude in the morning to take care of, I heard what I had assumed to be some junkie messing around in the dumpster. I yelled at whoever it was a couple of times to get the heck out before I called the cops. But as I walked towards the source of the noise, I suddenly heard those same footsteps. That soft thump-thump. Hooves or feet, or whatever they were. I turned right around and went back into the store and hid behind the counter. I look over at the outside security monitor and see some kind of movement from just off-screen, something huge casting a shadow and moving. Catch a glimpse of. I don't know, an elbow or something. A pale limb, darting in and out of view. It had to have been the same thing. I waited for it to leave, and after a while, it did. I woke up behind the counter at 6 a.m. this morning to my manager giving me this look like I'm a drug addict or something. Went home, typed the rest of this up. And that's about it.